Mentira! You asleep?
Hello, all of you Nanny's crew members. I just wanted to tell you that I'm not going to be showing my face in this video because today I'm looking particularly jacked up. So it's just going to be my voice and my cooking. So I'm going to take this moment now before I jump into the video to ask you to please subscribe, hit that subscribe button and that like button with the thumbs up so that we can continue to make better and more videos. So I'm starting off with the dry ingredients for my gumbo. I want to warn you that I use a lot of dry ingredients in this gumbo because I just want it to get that complex flavor, that layer of different flavors, and it really does make a difference. So here's what I use. You'll see me putting them all in, but I use one. Let me first of all, let me say that I use pickling spices in this gumbo because that's exactly what gives that complex kind of sweet savory. It's not sweet at all, but you can get a hint of sweetness from the cinnamon. So what I use that are pickling spices are 1 teaspoon coriander, ground up coriander, which I'm doing right now, 1 teaspoon cumin, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of turmeric. And then the other ingredients, you saw me put in 2 tablespoons of Tony Chachere's Cajun seasoning. That's a no salt seasoning blend, and it is amazing. So I use that. I also put in 1 bay leaf, 1 teaspoon of dry mustard, 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and a little later on, you'll see me add in 1 tablespoon of garlic powder and a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And I add those later simply because I forgot them. And then also later, I add my salt and pepper because that's really to taste. But I put in about 2 tablespoons, I'd say, of salt and 2 teaspoons of pepper, just black pepper. So, after I do my dry ingredients, I just set those aside and then I go on to the next step, which is sauteing my vegetables. So I cut up 1 shallot, 1 medium onion, 1 medium green pepper, 2 stalks of celery, and I just sweat those out. I put a little salt and pepper on them too. And while I'm doing that, I start my I sprinkle a little bit of the extra Tony Chachere's on my meat. And then I just throw that right in with the vegetables because I don't need the meat to cook, hard. I just need it to cook almost completely done, and then it'll finish up in the stew pot. So I just want it to get mostly done in with the vegetables. And what I use for the meat is a pound of chicken breast, a pound of sausage, and a pound of shrimp. And I put the shrimp in at the end. Now the sausage, I used kielbasa this time, simply because I didn't have the andouille. I didn't find it in my at my grocer's. So I just used the kielbasa. I really prefer andouille whenever I make gumbo. And so then I started my roux, and I put the butter in, and the pan was way too hot, way too hot. So I had to take it off the heat. But then it started browning up nicely once I added the flour in. And the darker you get your roux, then the more flavorful it's going to be. Then I took all those spices that I measured out and just dumped them in there. This is when I added my garlic powder and my cayenne pepper. And so after I added the nice seasoning, then I poured in my broth. And I used about 4 cups of, maybe 4 or 5 cups of chicken broth. And so I did not let this like cook for a super long time or anything. I cooked it for about 30 to 45 minutes, probably more toward the 30 minutes. And this is when I tasted it, added my salt and pepper, and then I put in my shrimp. I used cleaned, deveined, tailless shrimp about 5 to 10 minutes before I was going to turn the heat off. And so I also made some white rice, just some plain white rice to serve the gumbo over. And I sprinkled some chopped chives over it for garnish and for that little onion flavor. And it was so good. Now, as you know, the next day was much thicker, and even later in the day, as it cooled a little bit, then it got thicker. And if I would have cooked it a little longer, the broth would have also been thicker. But it is amazing. The flavor is so good. I actually made this because it was requested by my brother-in-law, and so I made it for him. But of course, I saved me out a little bit, and it was good. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share my videos. We love you guys, and we want to keep making these videos. We love doing it. See you later.